Reni Madam and other all representative of various federations, directors and presidents and all delegates. Now, the subject for presentation is Maharashtra State Cooperative Societies Act with reference to credit cooperative societies. We are all aware of that. The origin term cooperation is derived from Latin word coopere. Co means big and opere means to work. Thus the cooperation means working together. So those who want to work together with some common economic object can form a society which is termed as cooperative society. Cooperative society always works on the principle of self-help and as mutual help. Now I am showing a slide where development of cooperative movement, especially with the reference of Maharashtra, is there. I am covering all these points in my further presentation, so I will not waste of time to discuss on this issue. Next. I believe that concept of cooperation is very ancient concept for us. If we go or if we see in Ramayana, at the time of rescue of Sita Mai, the Hanumanta has taken help of Vanar Sena. I think that was also sort of cooperation. Also in our India, there is a joint family concept. So in joint family, the one for all and all for one is the main principle. So that is also cooperation. Our great Sant Tukaram Maharaj, he also said that Ekameka Sahaya Karu Avde Daru Supanta means help to each other. So the cooperation is very ancient concept for us. Before formal cooperative structures came into beginning, now the passing of law, the practice of the concept of cooperation and cooperative activities were prevalent in several parts of India. Village communities collectively creating permanent assets like village or village forest called Bandrai or Devrai, fairly common. Collecting small contribution in cash at regular intervals to lay into members of the group, chit fund or bishi, that was also a cooperation. The funds of Kolhapur, where farmers impounded water by putting up funds and agreed to ensure equitable distribution of water. So, as per concept of India, the cooperation is not new concept for us. Maharashtra has played vital role in development of cooperation, especially Ahmednagar district. The proposal for agricultural bank was first mooted in 1858 and again in 1881 by Mr. William Wedburn, the district judge Ahmednagar, in consultation with Justice Mahadev Govind Ranade. But unfortunately, it was not accepted. Also, the first credit cooperative society was formed in Baroda, known as Anyonya Sahakari Mandali, and it was also formed by one Maharashtrian person named Vitthal Lakshman Kauthekar. Coincidentally or fortunately, today we are in Ahmednagar district, and it is a proud for Ahmednagar district that the first cooperative sugar mill is formed in Ahmednagar in Asia. So I think that Ahmednagar is the origin of cooperation. In Maharashtra, there are mainly two types of credit cooperative societies are working, namely multi-state cooperative societies, which are governed by the Central Registrar and regulated by Central Cooperative State Act, and other state cooperative societies which are regulated by respective state cooperative society act. The first Credit Cooperative Society Act passed on 25th March 1904. The Cooperative Credit Society, it was the beginning of cooperative movement in India. Main objective was to make farmers free from the clutches of money lenders. This was beginning of agricultural credit cooperative in India, and cooperative movement was officially set up and recognized. Again on 1st March 1912, this act was replaced, and on 1912 again the new act was passed, and this act provided non-credit services to their members, and also that act provided for federations of cooperative societies. Till 1925, the cooperation subject was under the purview of central government, and in 1925 it was passed to the state governments. So in 1925, the Bombay Cooperative Societies Act 1925 was passed. At that time, Maharashtra and Gujarat was under the Bombay state, and in 1st March 1960, the Maharashtra and Gujarat, the both states are separated, and now the existing act was passed in 1960, and now at present all our credit cooperative societies are governed by this act only. This act has many features, but I will cover some silent features. Total sections are 168 and rules are 110. So we can imagine how our act is descriptive. Our act is very descriptive, and each and every section is very stated there elaborately. In our act, there is a provision of partnership. Two cooperative societies can form a partnership without disturbing their cooperative structure or the cooperative culture. So this is a very privilege for us. Law of limitation. If we want to pursue against the member, we can pursue. There is no law of limitation. But in case of this facility is available in case of only if the membership is live. If in case of past member, there is a law of limitation. Share or interest of a member is not liable to attachment. Restrictions on borrowing. So there is a provision that society is restricted to borrow the resources. So I think now we are talking about the capital adequacy ratio. I think it is indirectly capital adequacy ratio. There is a restriction on resources, so you can't deploy the funds, so it is also a capital adequacy. Deduction from salary, it is also facility. Attachment before judgment or attachment before award. Summary suit is there, and a transfer of property which cannot be sold. If the property, if society can't sold in auction, then it can be transferred in the society's name. It is a facility for society. In 2012, 19th Amendment was made, and it was made for only for major objectives. Behind that amendment, voluntary formation, autonomous functioning, democratic control, and professional management. Also in our constitution, there is one article 19(1)(c) as right to form association or unions. So it is our constitutional right to form a credit society. According to the amendment in the constitution, our Maharashtra state amended the act in 2012, and some sections were inserted in our new amendments. First is the cooperative education and training. So earlier there was a cooperative education and training, but that was not a mandatory. Now, as per our legal provision, every society is bound to make a cooperative education and training to their members, directors, and also employers. Concept of active member. With the intention of that, increase of the participation of the member in the society, active participation in the functioning of the society, this concept is introduced. There are two parameters. One is economical participation and another is administrative participation. So some rights are also vested now to active members. As per our new provision, voting right is only vested to the active member, and only active member can be participated in election process. So it is best or better provision or for the participation to motivate members to participate in functioning of the credit cooperative society. Right of appointment of statutory auditor. Now this right is delegated to the annual general meeting. Indirectly it is delegated to the members of the society. Filing of important returns became mandatory. There was earlier also we are bound to file, but there was not a mandatory provision. Now there is a provision of penal action if the society is not able to file the returns in stipulated time. Independent State Cooperative Election Authority. It is also a very democratic concept that now elections are conducted by the election authority, which is separate authority, and election commissioner is appointed by the governor. So there is no any political interference in the appointment of governor of the commissioner of the election authority. Our Cooperative Societies Act, as per my knowledge, if I am wrong, please, so please correct me. At present, more than 54 activities are governed by our Cooperative Societies Act. And we know that every cooperative activity has its own peculiar functions or features. So, considering the features of the functioning of the credit cooperative societies, one new section is inserted in our Cooperative Societies Act, which is now effective from 22nd February 2019. Our credit cooperative societies working as per they are working as a banking principles. So this act is also, this amendment is also based on the Banking Regulation Act 1949. So it is applicable to all non-agricultural credit societies, including salary earner societies. Now the form of business is defined under that. Earlier it was defined under the bylaws, and society was free to amend or free to change their businesses according to their functions. But now it is formed under the Act. Prohibition to accept deposits from nominal members. Now society is bound to accept deposits from his regular members only, and he is not allowed to accept deposit from nominal members. Prohibiting on trading. So society is not allowed to do any trading business now. Limits on administrative and establishment expenses. For financial discipline, now there is a restriction to the administrative and establishment expenses. It is now 2%, maximum 2% on their working capital. Concept of CRR and SLR now introduced. We are aware of that. We also know that our credit society is doing the financial business, and we know the importance of the liquidity. So for the purpose of adequate liquidity, CRR and SLR, cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio, both these concepts are now become a mandatory for the credit cooperative society. Each and every credit cooperative society has to maintain this percentage on daily basis, and there is a penalty if there is a violation. Only secured loans allowed to directors and their relatives. Now the directors is allowed and his relatives also allowed to take only secured loans. Unsecured loan is not allowed to any director and his relatives. Remission in loan to existing and past directors and their relatives is now prohibited. So even though past director and his relatives also banned to take any remission from his loan. Concept of regulatory board. It is a new concept for us. Now the regulatory board is formed. Another regulatory authority is now doing day-to-day activities, now regulating day-to-day activities. Now there are two regulators now. One, the Commissioner of Cooperation, who is regulating administrative part of the credit cooperative society, and now the regulatory board, where the commissioner is a chairman of that regulatory board, and they are now regulating the day-to-day or administrative parts of the credit cooperative society like CRR, SLR, rate of interest and other things. Now they are regulatory board are regulating those things, and administrative part, elections and other parts are regulating by the Commissioner of Cooperation. Concept of stabilization and liquidity support fund. Now it is also a new concept for us, and now it is introduced by regulatory board also. I think earlier I said that Ahmednagar always one step ahead in our cooperative movement. Last 10 years, 7 to 8 years, they are functioning, Ahmednagar District Cooperative Federation and Liquidity Support Fund. They are functioning as a liquidity support fund since last 7-8 years. Offences and punishment sections modified. Earlier there was a punishment and offences sections, but now they are modified and quantified. Now the penalties are quantified. In addition to laws and acts, our cooperative department is issuing circulars to regulate the day-to-day business of the credit cooperative society. There is a model bylaws. Now model bylaws is also one of the quasi-legal here. Then NPA norms, allied delinquency norms from 2005-2006. If I am not wrong, the Maharashtra is the first state implementing the delinquency norms for credit cooperative societies. KYC compulsion is there, and audit gradation aligns CAMELS rating. Like at international level, there is a access banding. So here in India, we are following the CAMELS rating. So it is also our society's gradation is followed by CAMELS rating. Some privileges for us: income tax exemption under section 80P. Our surplus is exempted from income tax act. Stamp duty exemption to purchase own property. If any society wants to purchase the property for their own use, then there is an exemption in stamp duty. Investment autonomy is now there as per the circular issued in December 2013. There are some norms prescribed, and society can invest observing all these norms. Some statistical data is there. I think Mr. Lavande has covered some statistical data here. This is urban credit cooperative societies. There are 13,568 as on 31st March 19 credit cooperative societies, and paid up capital excluding all reserves 55,550 millions. Total members 2 crores 5,15,242, and total deposit is there 6,57,780 millions. That means 65,778 crores. So per member there is a deposit is 0.032 billion. So it will show that how we are serving for a common and small and marginal people. Salary earners credit societies, they are total number 7,232, paid up capital excluding reserves 23,290 millions, total members 43 lakhs 24,000, total deposit is 34,280, total loans are 84,180 millions, and total working capital of that 1,25,740. These are the statistical data of salary earners society. They are very restricted for their employees only. They are not concerning for general public. So the amount wise, if we see our breakup, then we can summarize that from 10 millions up to 250 millions, there are more than 92% societies are there. Maharashtra State Cooperative Societies Federation. It was established in 1990 and there are more than 5,000 members are there and 36 district federations are affiliated. So in other states or other nations, there is a compulsion of membership of credit cooperative society of a federation. But here there is no compulsion, it is a voluntary membership for a credit cooperative society for a federation. Then our MAPCOs playing vital role for qualitative improvement and transparent functioning of credit cooperative society, like suggestions given to regulators to implement CAMELS rating NPA and Credit Information Bureau also. MAPCOs initiated deposit guarantee scheme by floating another society in 2003, contributing 1,000 million capital and protected deposit 50,000 per depositor. But due to some IRDA rules and lack of government support, that the deposit guarantee scheme merged with MAPCOs on 2011. There are many challenges before us, but I will focus on these some challenges. Here, large number and small size. It is the main challenge for us. It is not challenge for us, it is also challenge for our regulators also. Deposit is not insured. So our depositor is not insured and no special training and machinery to cultivate trained cooperative workers. I think it is necessary to sustain a cooperative movement in a long run. So there should be a permanent machinery or permanent training system to cultivate trained cooperative workers. I think I have covered my major key points. Also, I am very much thankful for cooperative department, especially Sri Kandagale Sahib, Soble Sahib, and the president of MAPCOs, Sri Kaka Sahib Korte, for guidance me to in the preparation of that presentation. And also I am very much thankful to you to listen patiently. Thanks, sir.